If you're a seller and you get an offer from a buyer that says they will avail of bank financing, what does it mean for you? Hi guys, it's Daphne, your favorite broker from RE/MAX. So you get an offer with the bank financing payment terms from a buyer. We normally get questions like this from our sellers. Well, basically, the implication is that you have to wait until the title and the tax declarations are transferred to the buyer's name before you actually get the portion of the loan proceeds. So let's rewind a little bit and start from the top. What will happen is that the buyer will have an appraiser from their bank visit your property to make an appraisal, and then let's say the bank will loan the buyer 70% of that appraised value. So let's say the appraised value is 10 million pesos. Normally, the bank will grant a loan of 70 or 80% to the borrower, which is, let's say, 8 million. That means if your selling price is at 15 million, then the buyer needs to top up additional 7 million plus the 8 million loan to complete the 15 million purchase price. Now, what does it mean for you? When you schedule your full payment and closing and sign the deed of absolute sale, what you will get is 7 million cash, and the 8 million will be in the form of a letter of guarantee from the bank. So it's a piece of paper, very official, signed by the banks, guaranteeing you as the seller that once you transfer the title and the tax declarations to the borrower's name, then they will release a check to you amounting to 8 million pesos. Now the next question is, when do you get the 8 million from the bank? It depends on how fast the title and tax declarations are transferred to the buyer's name. Once these are transferred, let's say fast, it's 1 month. They submit it to the bank, all the list of documents, and the bank will probably take 1 to 2 weeks to process that check to release to you. So all in all, maybe it's safe to say that as a seller that you will wait around 60 days after you sign the deed of absolute sale before you get the check for the 8 million from the bank. So that's the implication. First, there's a waiting time for you as a seller. Now, the next question is, as a seller, when should you turn over the property? A lot of the ones that we've encountered is that they turn over the actual property to the buyer once the loan proceeds check is released to you from the bank. But there are exceptions where the buyer and the seller would agree to turn over the property during the deed of absolute sale, even if the bank is still processing the check for the loan proceeds. So it really depends on your agreement together. The following questions would be, how about the association dues, real property taxes, utility bills? Who shoulders that while I haven't turned over the property to the buyer? Well, if you haven't turned over the property to the buyer yet because you're waiting for the loan proceeds, then it's still under the seller's account. However, once you turn over the property to the buyer, even while you're still waiting for the loan proceeds, then it will be the buyer who will shoulder those expenses. I hope that this was able to give you some insight about the process of bank financing when you receive it as a seller. If you don't want to miss out on these real estate tips as a seller or a buyer, don't forget to like and subscribe so you get notified every time we publish a new video.